Do you tend to overcomplicate your trading sometimes, doing what you know probably isn't necessary or the smartest play? And then when you look back on the day, you're saying, wow, why did I do that when the clear plays were clearly over here? Today, that was me. I clearly got out of my plan a little bit, just overcomplicating things rather than waiting for what I know works best. And here's how it works out. Looking at the TradeZilla again, I'm just going to keep reminding you until this month is over. There's a hidden $3,000 loss day here that I made a video about. I just lost the account, so there's no data to import. Let's move on. That's as quick as we need to recap that. But a nice week so far, bouncing back. You can see up 2.2K. I lost 3K on that day. We're almost back a week later, literally. If I could put up $800 tomorrow, I'll be back where I was a week ago. That's why red days, they suck, even the bigger ones. But you just zoom on out, you keep trucking along day by day, and you'll get back to where you once were. Let's look at the first trade here. Long on ES, when we had a big move down at the open, getting view up alignment, you can see the 15-minute on the left side here. We're below the 15-minute daily view up and previous day's view up. That's full alignment for the shorts, and we even cut through the starter view up here in yellow, a new view up that I've been incorporating. So stay tuned for that one as I work with that one a little bit more. But we're below every view up possible. I just, in my opinion, thought we were a little bit too low, and I've seen this plenty of times where I don't really want to have to sell into this view up or into this wick that we left to the downside here on the 15-minute because sellers try to stay down there, and we couldn't close down there. That's not the most bearish strength. So maybe we want to long it back up to that New York view up because we're a little overextended. So I actually longed it here with some of the people in our group chat. And I just got out break even the longer it stalled. I wouldn't want to still be long if we cut the lower day view up because we're actually still pretty bearish. So I just don't really need this long, even though it could have worked out and it did go into profit a little bit. I don't need to be taking that. I also then took this short on NQ around the same time where I don't love it because yes, it's at least in line with the trend. It's a lower day view up break. But if you've seen any of my videos and if you've watched the Futures 2.0 course, it's not off any level. This is just a tight pullback, 10 minutes, lower high off of nowhere. All this gray space between us on the 15-minute. It's not off a key level. I don't like to take those tight pullbacks. But I did it today anyways, so thankfully I cut it quickly, half a loss, because this is really a momentum play. If it's going to run lower with this momentum, let's break the lower day view up and continue moving lower. If we can't hold this lower day view up, well, then the momentum's gone. I don't want to be in this short at this low of a price with this tight of a stop loss. So I didn't need the trade. That's why I don't take these trades. But thankfully, I did cut it early. And I sold it at a little bit higher of a price with the bigger pullback closer to the key levels. This one looks a little bit more like my plays. And I'm able to get a stop loss above a key level of New York view up. This one makes sense. But it was just to make up for this earlier loss, which I probably didn't need. I scalped it on the lower day view up break and made back the loss. So now we're break even on the day. Even with this one, first long being break even, and then this one, a loser and a winner. So we're still break even on the day. Thankfully, well, first thing, this is what it should have looked like, right? I shorted it here on the small pullback. It really just should have just been that break of lower day view up and run that for a nice clean 1R. Instead of having to sell it or feeling like I have to sell it off a floating pullback, hoping this is the top just to make back that earlier loss. If I just let this thing pull back to where I wanted it to and then got back in when sellers were back in, it's a textbook short right out of Futures 2.0. If you've seen the course here on AceFX TV, Futures 2.0, I lay it all down of the VWAP break and the VWAP bounces in the trend continuation, which key levels to use. And this is a perfect example of that one. So I really should have just been in that one. I don't know why I overcomplicated it of trying to long ES, take this quick little break on NQ short, and then have to scalp it back again to make back that money, when it was really just easily wait for the one trade and you're done. So if you've never seen that course, again, you could use code Evan. You'll get 50% off access to the course as well as the live streams. But regardless, able to take another short later on in the afternoon. This is now at 2:30. The big drop down. I mean, we can go over the charts real quick. Here's that ES long. I also did take this short, but I bitched out of it in about a minute because I'm just like, this is so low. This is another tight pullback. What are you doing? Get out of this. This is just stupid. And then look at it run. So that's a nice feeling as always. And then here's the two on NQ. The loss, made it back on the scalp. And then this one is the short I'm going to go over here, the one I just took. Again, a nice pullback in comparison to what we've been having. I don't want to take these small little breaks because how much more do they want to run and run and run? But now we got a deeper pullback, taking out some of the structure, stopping out some of those shorts that shorted it too low. Here's maybe the end of our pullback. I can get a good stop loss at least at this previous lower high, that if we could hold underneath that, I do want to be a seller around this price. And thankfully, I kind of called the top on that one. And I got out just as it broke the lower day view up covered some win because I was break even pretty much going into this. This is really the only win on the day to put me up into profit, that I just took the small lower day break. If sellers don't want to hold control, that's fine. I made a nice winner. And then you can see it moves 80 points, and I probably got about 30 out of it. So it was still a nice exit, but if you think about it, the deeper pullback here still kind of overcomplicated it, because if this just kept coming higher and higher, why am I in a short yet? There's no sign of sellers wanting to step back in. So maybe it was just a little bit fortunate, but I was playing price. This is a nice healthy pullback, kind of like the one back here. This looks just the same, of no longer these small little tiny ones. I'm getting a more extended pullback, which is what I wanted earlier. And we get it, but even if you don't take that, and you take the normal break of lower day view up after the bigger pullback, you're pretty much selling it where I'm getting out, and then it's just all profit from there. You get a nice easy 1.8R. So again, I kind of overcomplicated it, rather than just waiting for the signal that would have presented in the stress-free one, and the one that fits my plan that I'm fully confident in. I'm in other stuff, trying to make money. Yes, I did make some money out of it, but the easy plays were just to wait for the lower day view up break, wait for the bigger pullback, wait for the retest off a key level, right? What I should have done is just, like I said, trade that lower day break, get rid of that short, trade the lower day view up break after a retest, you get another lower high, and see you later. Goes and continues trend. Let it drift lower with these tiny little pullbacks, pullback, break of lower day, continue the trend. See how simple it is? Once you're no longer in the trades or looking for trades, you can look back in the day and say, oh wow, it's so easily bearish, and it was telling me when to get in on these lower day view up breaks. Why did I overcomplicate it? Let's go to the minis here where there's no drawings on. Clearly it's bearish. Even if we just go to a 2-minute, it's clearly bearish, and we never really come back to the New York VWAP. But when you look at these more substantial pullbacks in that, and in here, there's even maybe one that's kind of sideways. In those, that here's the profit, here's the profit, here's the profit. I don't want to be chasing it too low, hoping it keeps going lower. So if you could just be patient for that pullback, which we normally are on this channel, we wait for those pullbacks to the key level because we know that's what's best for us. You could have made some nice money to the downside. And it's actually kind of refreshing seeing a trending day like this still hold into the afternoon, continue the trend lower. I mean, we're at a new lower day here at 3 p.m., which is good because if you've seen the previous videos, a lot of the time it would maybe chop sideways like it did later, and then a rally in power hour, or just completely sit sideways all day long, like over here on the previous Monday. So it's nice to see that trend was able to come in at the open and even continue into the late afternoon and not just sit sideways like we've seen sometimes. So it gave opportunities whether you traded right here at the open, this pullback at 11 o'clock, the pullback at 1 o'clock, or my trade, the pullback at 2 o'clock. It was raining down shorts on ES and NQ. So hopefully you guys made money. Again, these are all my Tradeify accounts that I've had to make back since this day on Thursday that I'm talking about, where I lost the full $3,000. So if you want an account with Tradeify, my coupon is still running. If you use code Evan, you'll get the best deal that they're running. Right now, it's 30% off all their accounts. So definitely go scoop those up so you don't have to pay full price. And I'm on the straight to sim funded, but you could also go with the growth or the advanced. And another thing we could quickly talk about with these setups on NQ, even though it's clearly pretty obvious here, we could turn off the opening range. Those are those black horizontal lines that, for anyone that doesn't know, let's turn on the initial bounce, which is the first hour of the day. Let's go to the 1 minute here. And another thing I love about, or I don't love about, that I got out of the trade early, but this NQ one, this big move down, clearly bearish. We get a nice new lower day. Let's put on the anchor view up there, right? And then we get a nice pullback relative. Didn't get fully to New York, but then sellers strongly step in. You could even argue there's like a lower high and they defend it again. You can get in there. Stop loss at structure. Regardless, if you've noticed, we haven't even taken out the initial balance yet. This red line on the bottom, we've only set it here at 1024. Now at 1130, we still haven't taken out a side. We can quickly go over to Edgefield because this is one of my favorite stats, the initial balance breakout. So if you go to the reports, the initial balance, I have it set to the 6 months. We'll filter that maybe. But just standard, all the initial balances in the last 6 months, 126 of them, only 14 of them have they broken both the upside and the downside. We can talk about that later, but the more substantial one is the no breaks of a day that we just stay stuck within this first hour range all day, never breaking a side, is only 10 out of those 126. So 8% of the time would it never break a side. So being that it is pretty bearish today at the open, clearly, I'm thinking we're going to get out of this range today. I doubt it's a day where we break no sides. And this downside is there for the taking. That's kind of how I word it. Of like, we haven't broken a side yet. Let's go get that first break. Now, that's an 8% chance of it not happening, right? There's going to break a side. Who knows what time or when. but it's pointing towards like it wants to do it now with it saying sellers are back in, right? And then even after that, like we mentioned, after this second break, or the single break, excuse me, we do break a side of it. Now we can again go back to Edgeful. The chances of a double break are 11%. So since we took out the top, there's only an 11% chance we would come all the way back up to the highs. Not that you really saw that happening today anyways with all this bearish sentiment, but I do like playing the single break on most days. But I will sometimes use it on a day like this where it's saying, hey, we haven't taken out a side yet. We know we're gonna. There's like a 90% chance we get out of this range. Let's go get that first break. And that's what should have been a simple short was going to do. Going to get that first break. You get a new low a day, pull back to then retest the initial balance. That's where the next move comes off of. Again, key levels, key VWAPs, key levels, key VWAPs. Keep it as simple as that. Throw out everything in between until you can find consistent wins and take consistent payouts. Just keep it simple and reduce everything else besides these trades off of a key level or off of a key VWAP. Just do it for the short term. You'll see how much stronger it's going to be and how many more wins you could find and losses you can cut out by not taking other trades. And then through time, you can maybe work your way of taking setups that aren't off a key level like this one over here. But for the most part, if you're struggling and you want to find that confidence, then be fine missing moves like this one in the afternoon and just focus on the ones that are off a key level. And then through time, you could add more to your repertoire. But again, all these links are down below for Tradeify, Edgeful, even the AceFX TV. Again, if you want to join us on stream the rest of the week and any of the weeks moving forward, you can watch the courses and then tune into the live streams where you see us take them live. And if you miss the recordings or if you miss the live streams, that's fine. All the replays are recorded. So you can go back and see why I took what trade, why I didn't take this trade, all those good things. So hopefully you found value in it. Let's keep on pushing to the end of this month. We're covering that red day on the 20th that isn't there, but it is there. And hopefully you guys found value in it. Like I said, always feel free to ask questions, drop a like, leave a comment, trade safe, and I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.